talking like this, and start talking like this, okay? Here we're on. Okay, thank you, Zach. Appreciate that. So, thank you very much for making it to another meeting of the Santa Barbara Real Estate Investors Association. We are at about 1:30 now, so we have a little bit of light outside, not too bright, so we're going to try to leave the doors open a little bit. Normally we would face the whole thing the other way because otherwise the videos and everything just kind of wash out completely. And everybody that's trying to see this on the internet sees some dark figures running back and forth that they don't really see anybody, so it's a little bit tricky. But I think if we stand on this side over here, and do most of our talking, we should be fine. In the evenings it kind of gets dark, so that kind of solves that. On the main site, Santa Barbara REIA, the short one, SBREIA. This looks familiar. This is where you are, out the patio there. You get to walk around and check that out. So if any of you want to promote your own business, we've got Zach here that eventually can go outside with you. We've got Michael here, and he's going to go outside with you too. If you want to do a video, a short, 1, 2, 5 minutes, whatever, and we'll video that, put it up on YouTube. Any one of those vendor tables, if you want to grab those, you can do that, because that's what you're there for too, okay? Because you're going to be up later on. And in case you guys haven't spent much time here looking at some of these drop-down menus, there's lots of information on education, lots of things on IRA. It'd be a good place to spend a little bit of time. I used it personally for myself to kind of build up links that I forgot and went, oh yeah, that's where they are and that's how I get to them. But this really serves you too to be able to get to the information that you need to get to. So it's well worth looking at. We video everything. Everything that we do here goes up on YouTube. We normally have the communications down. I don't think I had it down so well in this one because our second speaker said, oh, I don't want to do videos. So you're going to have to write a lot of notes on the second one from 2 to 4, 2:30 to 4, because it will not be up on YouTube. Okay?
And we have pads and pens.
And we got pads and pens back there. So normally I say, hey, don't waste a whole lot of time taking notes because it's you can just play it over and over and over. That's what it takes sometimes for me to actually get it. Oh, that's what this is. So in any case, it all goes up on YouTube and GoToMeeting. I noticed this time around that a lot more people went back to GoToMeeting and did their RSVP. You can actually pay for this meeting here under meetings, RSVP there and pay, or you can go to, meetup.com. I think I said GoToMeeting. Go to meetup.com and pay there. If you paid at the other place, I still would go back here because this is going to increase your networking. And it's going to help you put your face and the information you do out there. Because I've asked some questions specifically. What are you looking for, and what do you have to offer? So people can look at that and go, oh, hey, there's Lori. She does properties, out in Alabama. I need her, So they'll get back in touch with you. Okay? What we're going to cover today, our little meeting agenda. We've done the 1 to 1:30 registration, networking, wine and food. We still got some wine and food back there. Yay, good. All right. And I'll be kind of talking until about 1:45 on some of these things. Video news, credibility, NHBig, wholesaling, private lending. Then we're going to get into our vendors. Linda Pliagas had a much bigger event to go to, so she will not be here today. But she's got Michael here that's going to be standing in place for her. Michael Robbins. Did I spell that right?
Yes.
Good. Good. Okay, so he's here. And Keith and Roberta, I'm not sure what happened to them. But boy, we should got a lot of empty vendor tables, so this would be a good time. If any of you, normally it's $50 for a vendor table to put your stuff on there, to get up here for 5 minutes and talk. But, a lot of times we don't have them all sold out, so you should get to me and say, hey, Dan, I don't have $50, but I really like to get a vendor table, and I'll just give you one for free. Okay? If nobody else buys one, I'd much rather give it away and have somebody use it and put it to use than just let it go. Okay? And then we've got Noelle Wheeler, and she is from Capital Nationwide. She'll be up between 2 and 2:30. She's sitting over there, but you don't see her. Just like we've got Crystal Hahn, and she's sitting over here, and you don't see her, because they know the schedule, and they go, oh, great, I'm going to go check out Fess Parker and have some fun and come back here when I need to. Okay, so they will be here. Okay, so, and then at the end, we're going to give some good things away, some real estate education, computing support, going green. Got some great stories about that. In fact, next month we're going to have Reggie Brooks back. Was anybody here to see Reggie Brooks a couple months ago?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. He's coming back with his mentor, and his mentor is Al Lowry, who's, probably doesn't want me to say this, but he's 87. I mean, I'm 64. We're all getting up there. No spring chicken. But Al, runs around like he's 40. He's just got intense energy. He's really great. He's like the father of all the people who know real estate, so he's going to be back. And it'll be fun. I won't go any farther. There's a surprise there. Okay, and when we're done here, we'll go downstairs for some networking and some drinks. So let's talk a little bit about the video news, okay? If we go back to the front of our, well, actually, I think it's, sorry about that. If we go to the next thing here, talk about what's on our website. In the right-hand corner of the website, I'm going to start putting up video information for, different things that happen, members that have been successful. This particular one, if you click on it, is about an hour long. Lindsay Jean has spoke here twice in the past few years. One time was at Rusty's Pizza when we were way back in time. And she actually, we went down to Vegas and did one of her trainings, and one of the couples that went down there, Leland and his wife Diana, signed up with her. They've worked with her for the last year and a half. And so what happened was they got very frustrated, but then they finally broke through. Their whole story for an hour is on that video. You really ought to listen to it when you get a chance, because this is going to give you a sense of, what are the trials and tribulations of going through this stuff and actually making it happen. Let me ask you this, okay, so that's the video news, that's where that's going to go. Credibility. It's not easy being green, okay? Do we have any homeowners in here anybody in here that owns their own home? One, two, couple people? Okay. Okay, we're going to get some hands up. I know that some people won't hold their hands up even if I give them $1 million, and I've got $1 million back there someplace in one of my business cards, okay? But do we have any of those homeowners who just raised their hand that would like a newbie investor who's never done this business before to sell or flip their home? Have any hands? Now, you understand why we don't have any hands? Who wants to work with a newbie investor that's inexperienced, that's going to come in and sell your home, right? Or flip your home? There's no credibility there. That's a big problem. So for all of us that go through all this education and training and think, oh wow, I went to the 3-day boot camp, I've got all the books and CDs, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this job. That's how hard it's going to be to do the job. Who's going to hold their hand up for you? Who's going to say, I'll do business with you? Credibility is a tough thing to get, and it takes, years of being able to say, well, here's the properties I do. You can talk to James here, and he'll tell you, that I've been working with him, and here's the website. That's something that takes a long, long time to build up. And it's why it's so important that you're going to have credibility. Because what if you worked 20 years and you did something really bad, and then you tarnished your name, and nobody ever wanted to do business with you? You really lost something very valuable that you spent years putting together. You want to keep your integrity intact all the way through. So this leads us into NH Big, National Home Buyers, and the wholesaling that we're doing, and where you can get some credibility, okay? Because you're going to have to work with somebody if you're just starting off. You can work with me, you can work with 1,000 other people out there, but you're going to have to work with somebody to kind of kickstart your business, get you some training, get you some things that you've actually done that you can show people. And so what I'm offering here is wholesaling vacant properties, okay? Business cards, postcards, contracts, toll-free voice message that'll go back, through National Home Buyers, which is my company, and thousands of leads nationwide for vacant properties, cash buyers, motivated sellers. These are all things that I've had to pay money for to get my hands on and have access to, that they say, hey, this is yours, you build your team, give it to people that you need to give it to, go out and be successful. So, that's what I've bought into. Maybe $5,000 worth of software. I'm using GoToMeeting. We have meetings once a month on Saturdays between 11 and 12 to help train you and teach you how to do this business. CRM, Client Resource Management Database, which we're using Podio. That's Citrix, which is right here in Goleta. They're huge, they're global, you know. They also do GoToMeeting, and we use that for the meetings. Websites, I've got a number of websites that you can list the properties on that you're trying to offload or whatever you're doing. We can help with that. Free tech support. Unfortunately, my son's not back there. We've got Zach back there doing videos. Thank you, Zach. And but Michael, my son, is providing a lot of the tech support and helping people move along down this path. And so basically, this is all the support that we're giving you. And like I say down there, who are you going to call to get this much for free? Now, you can call Ghostbusters, but I don't think you're going to get it for free, even if you get a hold of them, okay? NH Big, I've got about 10 openings. Now, you know, using the voicemail, I've booked about 25 accounts. And I've got 10 of them used up from different people. Anybody in here doing this with me right now? Okay, so there you go. I would say don't talk to me about it. Go talk to the people who just raise their hands so you can get kind of a sense of what this is like and see if this is something you're interested in. And once those 10 get used up, I'll probably hold off to see if we're really doing this business, if we're getting the production out there, if things are really happening before I just try and sign up for more extensions and more people. Because, we want people who are actually utilizing this and doing something with it. Now, the flow of this is, I kind of looked at other gurus and I thought, well, if they're so good and they're so successful and they're so great, why are they always advertising for help? What do they need so many different people for? Well, this is the reality. People get married, people get divorced, they move out of town, they live, they die, they do all kinds of things and they change. And so what I fully expect to happen here is people will come in new, okay, and they'll gradually start ramping up the business maybe. All the statistics that I need to see what's going on is in this toll-free number because everything is recorded there, so I can see the stats and everything else. I know what's happening. And then it will plateau because there's only so much time in the day that we can do some work, and that's kind of where they'll be until they either decide to go do their own business, use their own brochures, their own cards, their own numbers, do everything on their own, and then they quit and they leave, they go do their own job and their own business, which is great because that's what it's designed for. We're here to kind of help bring you through that process. Some people will go, I'd much rather just click the clicker and watch TV. I don't want to do this. I tried it for 6 months and I'm burnt out, and they'll go away. And some people will say, well, I really only wanted a part-time job to make a few thousand now and then, so I'll probably be with you forever. And that's fine too, because you really need to have a mentor forever above you, and you really ought to be a mentor forever for people below you. Because those people below you are going to teach you a lot more than you ever thought. It's like raising kids. You think that you're going to teach them something? Anybody in here have kids? Who got the biggest lesson? We did. As parents, they're teaching us. Okay? So that's the opportunity that you have for teaching people, is they're going to teach you things too. So that's NH Big. All you have to do is get back to me. I've got some flyers back there that you can sign, or you can call me, whatever you want, and we'll get you hooked into this thing and give you a chance to start seeing how this all works. Okay? So you might have missed this, Phil, NH Big. I'm giving all this stuff away for people to do this business at no cost to you. You're just putting your time in and helping build your knowledge and the business, and then eventually you can go on to your own business. Okay? And I know that would be special for you. You just walked in here. I didn't want you to miss that.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Show me the money. Okay, so we have a number of private lenders here talking today, and we've got me ending what I'm doing here. We might have a little bit more time, seeing we don't have all the vendors here that I thought we would have showing up. But in this whole thing of private lending, under the website SBREIA, if you go to education, you go to finance, you're going to see a list of lenders and educational materials. So if you're looking to get money, you probably ought to go there. There's a lot of things on this website that you're going to want to see. And in there, in this discussion that you're going to hear today, there's conventional loans, there's subprime loans, there's private loans. I have had a real hard time, getting a conventional loan, because as we went through this whole tough period in this downturn of the economy, I didn't lose any properties, I didn't go into bankruptcy, nothing disastrous happened, but I certainly didn't want to sell any properties at the bottom of the market, you know. Normally, if I need money, I'll go sell the property and pay off some credit cards and whatever. A lot of people couldn't get loans, just like it's been very difficult for me to get a loan right now because of all the credit card debt that we have. So I started looking at a subprime loan, and that would solve my situation. But as that came along, you know, because we're out here always putting out what we want, and if you want something, you've got to talk, you've got to speak, you've got to put it out there, you've got to meet people, because if you don't ask, you don't get. So somebody came along and said, hey Dan, I probably got a better deal for you than that subprime. And so I went back to the subprime lender and said, it's close, you should have got me, you know, you guys drug your feet too long. So now I'm moving on. So there's that opportunity. And then, I guess the big question is, can a higher interest rate save you money? Now, has anybody in here got any feeling for how a higher interest rate can save you some money? Speed. Okay. Yeah. That's getting into the area. Anything else? Higher interest rate. Well, whenever you get a loan, there's a couple things you got to deal with. One is the money and the rate, but there's also, what you're talking about, speed, is the term of the loan, or the terms of the loan. So imagine somebody wanted to give you a first, you know, for a whole lot of money, and it was going to cost you $15,000 in points to be able to get that loan at 8%, or somebody else came along and said, hey, you know, I could give you something at maybe 10 or 12% or something like that, and even though they wouldn't give you a first, they wouldn't give you a second, and you had to do the whole thing, I'm going to give you a second, and you won't have to do the whole thing, which means you don't need as much money, which means you're not going to have to pay as much in points, so the terms and the speed is going to end up being better. Okay, so you really, as you go through this whole lending thing, trying to decide where you need money and where you don't, there's more than just rates. Just because somebody says they got a certain rate, you shouldn't cringe until you start talking about the terms of the loan and working that out. Because that can make a huge difference in whether this is going to work for you or not. Okay? So we are at 8:48, and I'm only good till 1:45, and then I deflate into nothing here. So actually, we're going to stay on schedule. But because we don't have all the vendors here, we might have somebody speak a little bit longer than they planned on if they want to. And we could do that. What we were planning on having here is Linda, she's not here. Keith, Roberta, I'm not quite sure what happened to them. I guess I should have called them. So we're going to have a little extra time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Michael, who's representing Linda Pliagas, come up and talk. And if we don't have Noel back here before he's done, then I'm going to get back up here. I'm going to answer some questions, and I'm going to get into a little bit more of maybe what we're doing with NHBIG and fill in some time until she shows up. Sound like a plan? Great. Okay, so Michael. How's that, Michael? Show it here.
It's very nice to be here with you guys today. Thanks for coming. Basically, I'm just going to give you a rundown of what Realty 411 is doing. Linda has hired me to be the Director of Sales and Marketing for Realty 411, and she wants to take this business to a whole new level. That's what she says. She wants to start doing bigger and better things. And so we've already begun that process. We've now committed to 2 expos every month, so that brings us to 24 for the year. And we're all sold out of our magazines for the year 2014 as far as magazine covers go, and most of the advertising as well. Our REI monthly magazine, it's a digital magazine, that's not sold out yet. We're still working on that, but that has 5,000 subscribers so far. She took that from 700 to 5,000 just within the last couple of years, I think. So that one is it's on the rise. Let's see, what else? The Cash Flow Express newspaper also is, we're getting out about 30,000 of those a year right now. Our Realty 411 gets out about 100,000 magazines a year. We're up and down the coast from San Francisco to San Diego. We're at every BART station just about in the Bay Area, and we are in 100 supermarkets here in California, 40 of those being Ralph's supermarkets. We locked up a big contract with them, So you get a lot of exposure in this business right now. And we're holding these some really big events. We're doing our Manhattan event. I'm working on marketing for that. We just landed ING Financial as a sponsor of one of these events. First Bank sponsoring our Scottsdale event. And we have B2R and a few other big ones that she's brought on board. So she's really interested in, we want to, instead of seeing 300 people at these expos, we want to see 1,000. And that's just where we're starting. So we're hoping to really take this thing off the ground. And we have a PR guy, Robert Smith and Associates. He's come on board with us and he's going to start working for us. He's already started contacting and promoting for our San Jose event. We got in the San Francisco Examiner thanks to Robert Smith. So that's the biggest newspaper there in San Francisco. So we're hoping to see a good turnout there. And yeah, that's what the magazine's doing right now. Yep.
When is your next event?
Our next event, forgive me if I should know these dates. I've been marketing a bunch of them. And so next Saturday is our next event, and it's in San Jose. And it's being held at the Hilton in the Ocean.
Do you mind starting with what is Realty 411 and what
Oh.
all these things you're talking about?
Oh, yes,
I'm kind
yes.
of like, I don't even know.
Good question, good
Where we
question.
are.
Realty 411 is a real estate investing magazine. And, well, that's what Realty 411, that's what our one magazine is. Then we have the Cash Flow Express kind of delves into business in general. So she wants to get into, kind of get away from just real estate investing, and she wants to be able to bring in other companies and whatnot to the mix.
And she's
So-
the founder?
She's the founder, Linda Pliagos, yes. Sorry about that, I should. Yes, Linda Pliagos created Realty 411 magazine about 8 years ago, and she created Realty 411 magazine about 8 years ago. You can go to realty411guide.com. And,
Guild, not guild, guide.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
realty411guide.com. And, but yeah, that is a very good question. So that's what the company is, and it's an expo. So our expos are mainly about real estate investing. So you can go there, but they're going to be about all different kinds of things. I just spoke to Goldie Hawn's publicist. I'm going to try and get her for our Santa Barbara event in July. If we can't get her, I'm going to try and get Bo Derek. A few of these local celebrities that live here in the Valley. I grew up in the San Ynez Valley, and they've bought real estate. They've invested in real estate for years, and I'm going to grab them because they're going to want to get up there and promote what they were doing. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell just started partnering with the Union Hotel in Los Alamos, and they created their own brand of wine called Goldie, and one of them is called the Goldie. So we think it'd be perfect for them to come on down to Santa Barbara and start working with us and whatnot. And so we'll see what happens. But so it's all real estate investing related mainly for now. And yeah.
So when you come back in July, I think it was, what did we say, July 26th? It's a Saturday.
July 12th. Well, we haven't locked down that date yet.
Right,
We need to do that.
right.
Once we lock that down, we'll put it up on our website, realty411guide.com. And you can always go to that website to find out the dates.
What is it you're doing? You're coming to Santa Barbara in July or something?
Okay, so we hold expos all over the country.
Okay.
And these expos are about real estate investing. And that's one of our expos.
It's in July and it's in Santa Barbara.
Yes,
Here.
here.
Right here in this room, if we can fit everybody. If it's too big, then we're gonna have to get another
We're
room.
gonna get the Reagan room, we're thinking
Yay.
about that, but the reason why I didn't really get so much into that is because Dan and I are supposed to go into the details of that after this meeting today, so I wasn't trying, I didn't wanna get too into those details yet and tell everybody a bunch of stuff that might not happen.
Yeah.
So we might be holding this in the Reagan room here, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. If we get Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, it might end up being a whole new animal, and we might have to figure out, rearrange the whole.
Yeah, and the regular room's pretty big, and we may have room out in the hallway for vendors, because if we have vendors inside that room, we probably won't hear the speakers, because there'll be so much noise going on. So we've got some work to do.
So we need to figure out. We need
Right.
to figure out how we would structure that whole thing, and I don't know yet.
Right, and this will be Expo 4. We've had 3 here already, and it's on a Saturday from 9 or 10 in the morning till 4 or 5 in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Something like that.
Lots of speakers, lots of people coming and going. So Linda and I have joined forces already 3 times to do that for a whole Saturday. And when we have that, we're not gonna have a meeting like this, we're just gonna have a huge combined one that's much bigger.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And
Where is the waiting room? Downstairs.
This is the second time I've been to this building, so Dan would be the expert.
Yeah.
It's right below it, it's just got right below it.
Downstairs, and the windows face the ocean out there. When I saw that, I went, that's almost as good as being up here
Yeah.
with the patio and everything else. It's just much bigger, and we don't need it for our monthly meetings, but we'd absolutely need it if you get people like that to show up and we have more people.
It's on the
Absolutely.
first floor.
We'll
First floor.
We haven't booked it yet, so that's why. We're still waiting back on a few things here. But we'll figure it out. But you know what? Go to our website, because that's where you're gonna learn about all kinds of new and interesting things that Realty 411 magazine is doing with our publications, as well as our expos. And these expos, like I said, are held all around the country, and we put them in really nice locations. We're having this, like I said, the San Jose's at the Hilton. We're having the Arizona one, as well as at the Hilton Doubletree in Villas. So they're always in really posh places. We had it at the Cliffs in Pismo when we were there, and so, you know, this place is nice. If you want to go to our events, it's going to look like this, this hotel.
And the reason you want to go is because the crowds are so big and there's so much networking going on.
Yes.
The last meeting that Linda had at Pismo Beach,
Yep.
which was just a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
I personally met somebody there that kind of bailed us out of our financial thing, and it's helping us move forward, you know, cleaning up some of our credit card debt. And that was, you know, what, maybe 50 people?
Yeah, that was 70.
70 people,
that
okay.
came through registry. That was a smaller event.
Right.
We're looking to get 200 or 300 for our San Jose next week. And like I said, Linda wants to move up into the 500 to 1,000 range coming up here within the next 6 months to a year. We're in the plans for that. So these expos are going to be big expos. That's still a medium-sized expo if you're talking about the learning annex and whatnot, things like that.
What does it cost to attend?
Right now, they're still free. I guarantee you they will not be free for long. And that's another thing I wanted to mention. The advertising right now in Realty 411 and getting sponsored, getting our booths, Linda has been giving all that stuff away for nothing, for free. That's all about to change. Not that we're going to start ripping anybody off. We're not. But we're going to be getting people a lot more exposure. We're going to start selling and printing a lot more magazines. Those prices are going up. Because if we're already sold out, and I told her, I said, if we're already sold out of magazine covers, all of our covers are sold out for the whole year 2014, and that happened in February. I said, something's wrong there. You know, we need to, we're in demand. And supply and demand is, real estate investors understand about that, right? So those prices are going up. If you want to get in on any of our booths, if you guys have businesses that you want to, to talk about, we can write an article about you in there. We can put you on a full-page ad. We have one cover left for 2014, and that's called our Private Money 411 publication. That's our last one left. That's going to go soon. And our booths, for $1,300, you can buy a booth and speak at the events for 40 minutes. So get it while the price is cheap. If you guys are interested, I have cards, and we can talk about that later after all this is over. And Dan told me that we're going to go outside if anybody wants to promote their business. He's going to have his son, I believe, do
Zach, not my son,
Oh,
but
Zach.
Zach, yeah.
Zach's going to come out, he's
He
going
could
to
be.
film, and then I can interview whoever wants to go out there and do a little thing for their, little
Yeah.
promotion for their business. So,
And we'll put it up on YouTube.
yeah, we'll put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, so if you want to do that, that would be fine. And the other reason for charging eventually is so that everybody knows where we're going, what we're doing. As you know, I want people to pay $10 in advance here so that we know who's going to be showing up, how many people are going to be showing up, how much material that we need. The more we can do things in advance, the easier it is to plan. And if you've ever gone on an airline, you realize the closer you get to the flight, the more the cost of the flight is going to be. And if you register way in advance, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
That might even happen because somehow we've got to get a better sense of who's committed and who's going to be there. And the truth is, if you want to do this real estate investing, you're going to have to make a commitment.
Yeah.
You know, you really are going to have to say, hey, I'm there one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't want to rip anybody off. Our prices will always be fair. Linda is all about fairness. She came from poverty and a single wide trailer. Linda's family in Los Banos, California. I actually lived in Merced for a few years, so in the Central Valley, it's not an easy place to live. I can tell you that. That's a hard place, you know. And Linda grew up in the worst conditions. She became a real estate investor. That's why her magazine's actually free. And she gives this away because, and I said, right when I got the job, I said, oh, well, you need to start charging for this. And she goes, no. She goes, I want to give that away because that's how I give back to society. So that made a lot of sense to me, and I admired her. I thought it was a very noble goal of hers to do that, to try and help people get access to information at their local BART station or at the supermarket and be able to help themselves get out of poverty and realize the American dream just like Linda did. And so, we won't be charging for that magazine, or at least it doesn't look like that. And I think she's gonna go ahead and stick with that. But our expos, we will start charging for that because simply we wanna print more magazines. We wanna flood the United States with Realty 411. Instead of 100,000, we're hoping next year we're gonna be able to save, print 500,000 book, you know? So we don't know. We'll have to wait and see where it goes. But, really happy to be part of it. And,
We can all grow with you.
yeah, we love it. Come grow with us. It's at your own pace.
That's a good line, you should use that, come grow.
As a slogan.
Yeah.
Grow with us.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll think about that. Maybe we'll see it up there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good. So it looks to me like we've got things on the schedule here. I'm going to set up and see if we can get this next session. If you guys want to jump up, we'll take just a quick little break if you want to. Grab some more food, some more wine, and then come sit back down here because we're going to have Noelle up here in a couple of seconds. So just, you know, if you want to do a quick little run and then come back, away we go. And one of the things